The economy of Kazakhstan is the largest economy in Central Asia. The breakup of the USSR and the collapse of demand for Kazakhstan's traditional heavy industry products have resulted in a sharp contraction of the economy since 1991, with the steepest annual decline occurring in 1994. In 1995-97, the pace of the government program of economic reform and privatization quickened, resulting in a substantial shifting of assets into the private sector. The December 1996 signing of the Caspian Pipeline Consortium agreement to build a new pipeline from western Kazakhstan's Tengiz field to the Black Sea increases prospects for substantially larger oil exports in several years. Kazakhstan's economy turned downward in 1998 with a 2.5% decline in GDP growth due to slumping oil prices and the August financial crisis in Russia. A bright spot in 1999 was the recovery of international petroleum prices, which, combined with a well-timed tenge de current GDP per capita shrank by 26% in the 90s. In the 2000s, Kazakhstan's economy grew sharply, aided by increased prices on world markets for Kazakhstan's leading exports oil, metals and grain. GDP grew 9.6% in 2000, up from 1.7% in 1999. In 2006, extremely high GDP growth had been sustained, and grew by 10.6%. Business with booming Russia and China, as well as neighboring Commonwealth of Independent States, CIS, nations have helped to propel this growth. The increased economic growth also led to a turnaround in government finances, with the budget moving from a cash deficit of 3.7% of GDP in 1999 to 0.1% surplus in 2000. The country experienced a slowdown in economic growth from 2014 sparked by falling oil prices and the effects of the Ukrainian crisis. The country's currency was devalued by 19% in 2004 and by 229% in 2015. Valuation and a bumper grain harvest pulled the economy out of recession in 2015. The World Economic Forum compiled its Global Competitiveness ranking Kazakhstan 50th out of 144 countries. The ranking considers multiple macroeconomic and financial factors, such as market size, GDP, tax rates, infrastructure development, etc. In 2012, the World Economic Forum listed corruption as the biggest problem in doing business in the country, while the World Bank listed Kazakhstan as a corruption hotspot, on a par with Angola, Bolivia, Kenya, Libya and Pakistan. Kazakhstan is listed in the 2015 Bloomberg Innovation Index among the top 50 most innovative economies. Kazakhstan has managed its monetary policy well. Its principal challenge in 2001 was to manage strong foreign currency inflows without sparking inflation. Inflation had, in fact, stayed under control, registering 9.8% in 2000. And appeared likely to be under 10% in 2001. Because of its strong economic performance and financial health, Kazakhstan became the first former Soviet republic to repay all of its debt to the IMF by paying back $400 million in 2000, 7 years ahead of schedule. Overall foreign debt amounts to when? About $12.5 billion, $4 billion of it owed by the government. This amounts to 6.9% of GDP, well within manageable levels. Kazakhstan's GDP grew 4.1% in real terms during the period from January to September 2014. Kazakhstan's real GDP growth is projected to reach 4.3% in 2014. The main driving force of the economy in Kazakhstan in 2014 is the consumer sector. The consumption in Kazakhstan is mainly boosted by the retail lending. According to the Agency of Statistics of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Kazakhstan's GDP growth in the first quarter of 2014 was 3.8%. The government of Kazakhstan signed a framework partnership agreement with IBRD, IFC, MEGA on May 1, 2014. According to this agreement, the World Bank will allocate $2.5 billion to Kazakhstan for the diversification of the economy and reaching the sustainable development. As of 2015, the World Bank classified Kazakhstan as an upper-middle-income country with GDP per capita of nearly US $10.5 thousand. FDI increased 30% in 2015 in Kazakhstan's agricultural industry and 80% in the country's petroleum products sector. Mining. Kazakhstan is a leading producer of many mineral commodities, including salt, uranium, ferrochrome, titanium sponge, cadmium, magnesium, rhenium, copper, bauxite, gallium and zinc. Car industry. In June 2014, the CKD, Complete Knockdown, assembly of Toyota Fortuner was launched in Kostanay, Kazakhstan. The expected annual output makes around 3,000 cars, 250 a month. The Kazakhstan's car industry was developing rapidly in 2014, producing $2 billion worth of products annually. By 2018, the car industry in Kazakhstan is expected to reach 190,000 cars per year. Technology. On the 22nd of December 2014, the World Bank approved an $88 million loan that would support Kazakhstan's efforts to facilitate commercially and socially viable innovation in technology. The Fostering Productive Innovation project aims to improve the country in areas that are able to foster and support technological innovation. Retail. According to Aeka.Nazeka's 2015 Global Retail Development Index, Kazakhstan ranked 13 out of 30. In the 2016 index, Kazakhstan ranked as the fourth best developing country for retail investments, scoring 56.5 out of 100. Kazakhstan's market attracted large international retailers, such as French retail chains Carrefour and Leroy Merlin, as well as food giants McDonald's and KFC. On November 11, 2014, in his address to the nation for 2015, Nursultan proclaimed Kazakhstan's new economic policy, the path to the future, NurlyZhol. The new economic policy implies massive investment in infrastructure over the next several years. In the short term, the program NurlyZhol will apply the anti-crisis measures to overcome the turbulence in the global economy. The long-term measures of the state program of infrastructure development will help to create a strong platform for new growth.